Hello everybody, welcome back to CyberDev channel. Before starting today's discussion, I want to give a thanks message to my friends, to my ex-students, ex-colleague, and as well as my current teammates for making my channel to reach 100 subscription today within a week of time. My channel is around 12 years old, but I was not using it for e-learning purpose. So in recent past, I have started putting the post in my YouTube channel. So let us come to the topic which we are going to discuss today. Today's discussion is the enhancement of the previous discussion, means Spring Boot RESTful web service. But in the previous discussion, in the previous video, which I will put in the description box, what we have done, we had gone for creating a RESTful web service without using any database, without having any dynamism. We now going to introduce database in this project. We are going to use MySQL. We are going to use Spring Data JPA in our Spring Boot web application. So in this diagram you can see there are two layers. One is a producer layer and there is a consumer layer. The producer layer is having the MySQL, Spring Data JPA, Spring Boot, all this thing, and it is going to produce JSON data for the consumers. Who are going to be the consumer? It can be any mobile application like iOS app or Android app, or it can be any Java application which might be using OK HTTP client. It might be even if a Postman or any ordinary web browser also can be a consumer. So jump into the discussion. So for the sake of making our discussion more smoother, we have created a WordPress blog where we are going to always write in the future what about our video, what is the code we are using, the entire source code also we are going to share over there. So already I have created a blog for this discussion. So this one is the blog which I will share in the description box again. So which is going to discuss about bit of what is web service. You can see who is going to be the producer, who is going to be the consumer, and the videos which already we have discussed. Those videos are also embedded in this post, which may help you to reach to the content which we have already discussed. Now for this discussion, as I said, we are going to use MySQL. MySQL is going to be the part of XAMPP. So XAMPP is a product of Apache, which is containing the Apache server and as well as MySQL. So that is going to be used in our project. MySQL, you can directly go for using it from Oracle also, but I feel comfortable with this PHP MyAdmin which is there in the XAMPP or XAMPP, you can say. So first of all, what is the requirement? Let us have a quick look at it. We are going to have the requirement of a database in our DBMS. This is what I have mentioned in the blog. The database, as I said, I am going to use MySQL. So already I have created a database, or in fact I have opened it, in fact not created yet. I had created it, but I have dropped the database for showing it live in this video. So I will go for creating the database first. I will name it as COVID-19. You can name it anything, obviously not COVID-19. I am using COVID-19. So I created the database which doesn't have any table right now. We can go for creating a table also, but not by using this UI. We are going to do it with the help of our application. So that's the first step. And if we go to the next thing, what is the requirement? We are going to have the environment dependency for JPA, for this persistency API, for this DBMS connection. Thus we are going to change the pom.xml. Whatever pom.xml we have got, that we have to change. So let us go to STS. One thing I need to tell you right now, that is what now. What is going to be the STS right now? The STS doesn't have the project which I had created for the blog. I have deleted it for the purpose of showing it live in this video. So I will do one thing. Whatever project we had used previous project or previous video, that only I am going to use over here. I will copy it and put it in the same project explorer window with a different name. Copy, then paste. So I will name it as COVID care, because in the blog itself I have mentioned the name of the project as COVID care. Then here you can see the COVID care project is ready, or in fact the basic of COVID care project is ready, which has this two classes from demo STS. This is one is a container of main class, and we have a controller which right now we don't need this controller. We had used it for our RESTful web service, but static web service, not dynamic. So we are going to make a dynamic. So I will do one thing. I will drop these packages which are not necessary for our project in this video. I will drop the controller package, I drop the model package, both I delete. Now it is as good as, or as new as a new Spring Boot initializer project, which doesn't contain anything other than this two files which are responsible for initializing our Spring Boot application. So in fact, if you look at again the requirement from the blog, we have to go for this pom.xml modification. So what we are going to do, that also I have written in this blog. In the pom.xml we are going to put this three dependency. One is for JPA, second one is for persistency API, third one is for database connector. So three dependencies we have to copy. So end of dependency tag is almost already there in our project. If I open this pom.xml, so here up to this you will find, or you may not find this one also. This one is required for compiling JSP. This one you will not get while you are going for directly creating Spring project from Spring.io. So I will keep it as it is. I will just copy which I paste it, which I copied from the blog. This part I have copied. That's what from the JPA till this MySQL. So this part, these three dependency I have used. I save it so that whatever jar files are required, those will be downloaded into our project. Once the pom.xml is ready, then you can go for the next step, that is going to be modification of application.properties. Because in this project we are going to use Spring Data JPA, means we are going to use MySQL database for our RESTful web service. So MySQL database information must be provided inside the application.properties. That will be containing the name of the database, username of the database, password of the database, DDL property. All these things we have to mention inside the application.properties. That also I have written in the same blog. in the here you can see that I will copy, which I have written regarding this 4 lines regarding this database connection and JPA Havana DDL, that I will put inside the pom.xml, in the application.properties. So here you will find in the SRC main application.properties, which has nothing but the information about the JSP. When you will begin creating your Spring Boot application, you may not find these 2 lines also. These 2 lines we have created in one of our project for displaying index.jsp. For our first Spring Boot application, we have used it. This is to indicate where our JSP is going to be available. I will paste whatever I have copied from my blog. So here is, you can see the URL, this spring.datasource.url is going to be the COVID-19 means JDBC : MySQL : localhost. COVID-19 is a database. Right now I have created a database named as COVID-19 in MySQL. Username is root. There is no password I have in my database. If you have a database password, that you will mention over here. Then this one is going to be very important stuff, because we are going to use JPA, Spring Data JPA. So that is going to create our table, and as well as if at all any updation we will do or insertion we will do, that can be also taken care by this line. Automatically the table will be created once we start the application. That is basically for creating the table, and as well as and if you want to drop the table or alter the table, those DDL information can be automatically created with the help of JPQL. So JPQL will be generated from this property. So that's all you have to do inside the application.properties. Next, as I mentioned, in again the same blog I will go for. What next you have to do? The next you have to do is going to be a class. Once this properties file is ready, then you have to go for this class, which is going to be our entity class. Means the database is going to be represented as the entity class. This entity class is going to be the representer of data. If you are having this class is already there in the blog, so you can see, since we are creating a project of regarding the COVID, so I have a class named as patient. So I will copy this class code also from the blog, and I will go for creating a package in my project named as entities. You can name it anything. In the root package, I will go for creating a sub package, means demo STS, whichever we have created. Inside it, you will create a new package, then dot entities. At the end you can put entities. Okay, so here this is the empty package we have created. Then we have to create a file for keeping our class. We will go for using the class name as patient. So this class is ready or created. I will copy this part which I have, or paste the part which I have copied from my blog. You can do the same thing also. Okay, so this package line has been repeated, so I remove it. So here the patient class is there. It is going to have 3 variables: serial number, name, age. The serial number is going to be the primary key. That's why we have mentioned ID. Then it is going to generate the value automatically when you will go for using it for storing purpose, and it is having a variable also as temperature. So four variables are there: serial number, SLNO, name, age, temperature, and their respective setter and getter methods I have created over here. Set serial number, get serial number, set name, get name, set age, get age, and set temperature, get temperature. So that also is done. Now next thing, you have to go for creating a interface. That interface is going to be called as repository interface. That is going to be the JPA API provider to our Spring Boot application. Again, I will go for this new package I will create in the root package. I will name it as something. At the end I will mention repositories. So repositories is the next step. So I created the package. Here I will go for creating new, then interface, not class. I will name it as, suppose, person, not person, in fact, percent repository. Okay, so I can add who is going to be the super interface. So JPA repository is going to be the super interface. That also I can add over here. So this repository is for which entity, that I can mention. It is going to be the repository of our patient entity. Patient, then our data type of primary key is integer. Okay, so let me finish it. So here patient. Okay, so let me import it, the entity which we have created. So patient patient repository is ready now. We need not to put any method inside it. All the predefined methods which are available to JPA repository, that's going to be enough for our RESTful web service for this video or this project is concerned. Something is there, patient repository, why this error is there? Yeah, so I saved it, so error is gone. Then next we have to go for creating the controller. That controller is going to represent our endpoint of our RESTful web service. So it is going to be a class. I have to go for creating package, sorry. For the package, for the controller I need to create a package. Here the package name is going to be controllers. Okay, so here I will go for creating a class, name it as patient controller. Everything is mentioned in the blog. I am creating it in the video itself, but in the blog again let me show you, that has been mentioned. You have to go for creating this repository, this code is there, and as well as this controller code is also there, patient controller. So I will do one thing, since I have already come over here, so let me copy this from the import part. Let me copy the entire stuff and put it over there, which I created right now, excluding this package part. Let me paste. Yeah, so here it is asking for import patient repository. Why it gives error? Create class patient repository. Our repository name is PATI TINT. Some problem. Yeah, so I did some control. It's patient class also I have to import. What goes this? This entity is patient com.dev demo sts. Okay. So since I imported, I copied it, my package name over there in the blog I have given as COVID-19, but here the package is demo sts, so that's why it is giving the error. Okay, now if I remove this part, then it should again need to be fixed. So I need to import this patient which is there in the demo sts. Yeah, now let me explain. Here show all patient is the method which is there inside this patient controller. The REST controller again is annotation which is going to mention this patient controller is not going to be ordinary controller, it is a REST controller. Then the repository which we have created, that also we have imported, or auto add means it is the dependency injection we have gone for. So this repository is available, and also we have gone for creating this request mapping, means this is going to be the endpoint of our RESTful web service. What we have done inside it, this patient repository which we have injected into this controller with the help of this auto add annotation, we have to call, or I have gone for calling a predefined method which is there in the JPA repository, find all, means whatever data we will keep inside our patient table, all the records are going to be available as the object of patient, and it will return it as list. So the list which I have created, that list is going to contain all rows present inside the table. Ultimately that is going to happen over here, and that list only I have returned because return type of this show where all patient is list type. That's all. So all the codes are ready. Now the time for testing. We can go for this COVID care project, run as Spring Boot application. So now it should do the magic of, you can go to the PHP MyAdmin which is there for the MySQL. Let me show you. Here is the, so till now I have not refreshed it. If I refresh it, so here you can see there are two tables which are getting created. One is for patient, another is for Hibernate sequence. That's one time creation. Patient is the representation of our entity class, but the patient class doesn't have any method, or sorry, any record. We have to insert few records inside it. The insert tab is there. I'll go for serial number as 1. I'll make the age suppose 21. Name suppose it is maybe I'll give it as maybe John. So temperature suppose 98. Then second one is the 2. I'll give the age as maybe 22. Is suppose it is Mahesh, and the temperature is 99. Okay, so you can go for clicking go. So now you can see, if you go for the browse button, here you can see 2 records inserted, means you will be finding over here 2 records inserted. So our database is ready, our table is ready, the data is ready, app is started. Just you need to test the RESTful web service. So as per this diagram, we can test it with the mobile application. This producer is ready now. We can test it now with the mobile application, or with the HTTP client, or might be with the help of a Postman, or even if an ordinary web browser also we can use it. So let me try it with the web browser first. In the browser I will go for using localhost 8080, then the endpoint of our controller. If you look at the controller, our endpoint which we have created is show all. the method is show all present, but the URL or URI which you have created, that is basically show all. Yeah, that's what is the JSON output we got from our producer. Now this web service is getting consumed by this web browser, and as well as we can go for using it in the Postman. I have Postman in my machine. You can use, even if you can download it, it's freeware. So in the Postman I will go for using, let me copy the URL which I will use it as the getter. So since already I had tested once, so here the same URL which I had put in the browser, that only I have. So here is the method is get. If I will go for send, so here a beautiful structured manner JSON you can see, not as browser, it is a Postman client. And if you have the requirement of using this producer or using this JSON somewhere in your OKHTTP client, or maybe in your mobile application, maybe in any other Java application, that can be used. So that is the beauty of RESTful web service, which is going to produce the data and any other application can consume it. So in the next discussion we will see how to consume a RESTful application or the JSON which is getting provided as the service from any REST web service or any Spring Boot application. How we can consume it, that we will see in the next video. So that's all about today's discussion. So thanks for watching. Don't forget again to subscribe and press the bell icon.